been a while since I felt like a child at Christmas, but September 10th, the day they announced the discovery of Homo naledi, yeah, oh yeah. Not only did I get my Red Ryder BB gun, but I managed not to shoot my eye out too. It was that great. In case you missed it, we discovered 1,550 fragments of fossilized bone from as few as 15 different individuals in Rising Star Cave, South Africa. Men, women, children, all represented. Believe it or not, sites as remarkable as this are an extreme rarity. Take Australopithecus barrel-ghazali, for example. All that was ever recovered was part of a jaw with teeth attached. And as you can imagine, that's not a whole lot to go on. Some argue that it's not even some species, that it's representative of another species, Australopithecus afarensis. We have so little to work with that arguing either way is really hard to do. So finding Homo naledi is a lot like digging up a buried pirate treasure, but instead of like finding a million doubloons or whatever, you found something that's extremely unique and absolutely priceless. We can learn about naledi's growth from infancy to adulthood, male-female differences. There's so much value in this single collection, it's astonishing. Alright, no more talk about the findings themselves, you can get that all over the internet. If you're unaware of the details of the discovery, I've put links in the description for you. There's one to a press release video, and there's one to an article discussing the findings. So if you're not familiar, it's okay. Just pause my face, I won't mind. Go check that out first. What I do want to talk about is how the story of this find should inspire people to get out there, take risks, discover some bones. I kind of feel like I'm setting you up to think that this video is just going to be me saying, we found some bones. Let's find some more bones. But it's much deeper than that. Let's talk about Lee Berger. This is the guy who essentially led the Homo naledi excavation and publication. This isn't his first rodeo. He's been overseeing projects in the part of the world so rich in these fossils that it's been dubbed the cradle of humankind. In 2008, Berger goes to survey a cave. It's a pretty relaxed thing. He takes his dog, his son, a colleague, and his son finds part of a collarbone and a jaw embedded in a rock in the ground. This and the findings in a cave feet away are what we now know as Australopithecus sediba. Like naledi, the sediba find includes both sexes and infants. It was a big deal in its own right. Now, I bring this up because Berger has something incredibly important to tell you about how we should respond to happenstance findings like this. I'll let him tell you.
What Sediba and the site of Malapa show is that the idea that we had discovered all the great fossil fields and we had discovered basically the pattern of human evolution was not true.
Yeah.
Sitting in the most explored area on the continent of Africa, so easy that a 9-year-old could find the first piece, was not only just another fragment of one of these, but maybe the richest assemblage ever discovered of early hominids. Tells us there's a lot out there to be found. We need to build a generation of explorer scientists. We need to realize that exploration is a science. We need to realize that technology empowers us to make discoveries, and we need to get people back out in the field to make these things not so rare.
Berger said that before any discoveries were made at Rising Star Cave. And what do you know? We found another amazing discovery right under our nose. I'm talking like geographic mustache. Rising Star Cave is less than a kilometer away from another fossil site, Swerkron's Cave, which we've studied since 1949. So what's going on here? Kind of sounds like Lee Berger is simply getting lucky, but Berger is doing a lot of things to proactively increase the chance of finding fossils. He finds caves on Google Earth and then asks cavers to explore them. He apparently interacts regularly with the Speleological Explorers Club in South Africa. This is the organization that the original discoverers of Homo naledi, Stephen Tucker and Rick Hunter, belong to. Dude's making an effort. Traditionally, finding fossils used to be a really pessimistic endeavor. It's really common to hear that paleoanthropologists might spend their entire career looking for fossils, only to find a handful, if any at all. But I can't help but be inspired by the stories of explorers who set out against all odds and actually accomplished something. Eugene Dubois is a perfect example. He's the first guy who ever decided to, go out and look for pre-human fossils. This was a long time ago, way before Google Earth. I'm talking 1887. That's like a century before 1987. In fact, it is exactly a century before 1987. That was still way before Google Earth. Darwin published The Descent of Man and said that we most likely came from Africa because we were most similar to the apes found there. Dubois didn't believe it. He thought that we were descended from gibbons because gibbons sometimes stand up and walk. So he gets himself and his entire family to get up and move to where the gibbons are, Indonesia. And here he sets out to find the missing link. He thought there was just one, but of course our biological history is nowhere near as clean as that. So he was wrong on that front. He was wrong with the gibbon theory, and he wouldn't have known that tropical environments, such as Indonesia, don't really favor bone preservation. But still, he looks. He looks for 4 years. And against all odds, he perseveres and actually finds something. Our first ever Homo erectus, Java Man. It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. But it's not 1887 anymore, and we have so many more avenues of exploration open to us. The whole thing is kind of like losing your keys. You have a spare set, so you're really in no rush to find them. They're in the house somewhere. I mean, you could look for them, but they're going to turn up eventually. Although this metaphor is kind of wrong in one big way. I mean, there's not one set of keys. Well, we don't know how many there are. They're just lots. So Lee Berger is looking for the keys to our humanity in one room, South Africa. He's not satisfied waiting for them to just turn up. But that's one room. But if we really care about understanding the story of humankind, we're going to need to scour the house. So I was a little late in posting this video. Unfortunately, my computer broke and I had to pull a favor to get this edited. Thanks, Nick!
You're welcome, Riley!
We should be good for this week's video, and because it's already Sunday, I better get on it. Speaking of this week's video, it's going to be on perhaps my favorite topic of the year, why we have chins. It's going to be a good one, I promise, and the potential implications for how we understand humanity are truly astonishing. So feel free to subscribe. You might just learn something. Oh, and also, I've got a Skeletons and Skepticism Twitter and email account set up now. Feel free to ask me questions or suggest a topic. I'm going to aim to check it daily.